Hey, welcome back to Socialette. This is episode 238. And today I'm looking at where to start with launching. Now, one of the most common questions I get asked all of the time is, where on earth do I start with launching? I want to launch something, but I have no idea where to begin. Now, there is a bit of an art and a science to launching successfully, and unfortunately, most people who DIY their launches completely skip over the less glamorous steps, the ones that might be a little bit harder or take a little bit longer or might feel a little bit uncomfortable to do. So, contrary to what you might believe, you don't start with the idea for your launch and work from there. You actually start with what I believe is the most important ingredient in a launch, and that is the people, right? That is the people who will be buying whatever it is that you're launching. Now, I dive a lot deeper into all 6 key steps in a launch inside my free ebook, which is the complete roadmap for a killer launch. Grab it from stephtaylor.co/roadmap. Okay, so absolute first place to begin in a launch, define who you're launching to. So who exactly will be buying this thing that you're launching? Now, I've spoken a lot on this podcast about the importance of defining your ideal customer or client and how exactly to go about doing that. But this person who you're launching this product to might not be the same person as your ideal customer for the rest of your business. So, for example, when I was running a marketing consultancy, I had the ideal customer, the ideal client in my head. And then when I launched my first course, which was a DIY Facebook ads course, this ideal customer was completely different because the agency was for people who didn't want to do it themselves. They wanted to outsource their marketing versus this DIY Facebook ads course, which was for people who wanted to learn how to DIY. So very different ideal client, ideal customer there. So then the next step is to find these people. Take that ideal client in your head and find them. Where do they hang out? Where do they congregate? Are there Facebook groups for them? Do they have in-person meetups? Do they read all of the same blogs? Once you know where or who and where you're trying to reach them, you need to talk to them, right? Yes, I know it's scary, but trust me, it is so worth it for the insight that you get into their brains and the power that that can have on the product you create. And you know what? The ones who you talk to, they probably know a bunch more people just like them. So they might one day become your raving fans and they might tell people about you. That's pretty cool. So once you know who you're targeting, where to find them, and you started talking to them, then you need to figure out what problem you're solving for them, right? You need to uncover what struggles they have. And this is where the talking to them part really comes in handy, because it's very easy to assume you know what they want and what they're struggling with, but until you ask them, you don't really know for sure, right? Sure, okay, not every product or service solves a problem, but it's a heck of a lot easier to sell one that does. Trust me on that. I've tried selling a product that didn't solve any problems, and it was not easy. Now, once you know what the problem is, if you can articulate your ideal client's pain points better than they can, and if you can show them, paint the picture of how their product is the perfect solution for their struggles, you'll be onto a winner, right? Okay, so how exactly should you go about talking to your audience? How should you ask them? I'm a very big believer in interviewing them, either face-to-face or over the phone, whatever works for you, simply because you can go a lot deeper into their answers than you can in a survey. You can, ask them to elaborate on certain answers. You can pay close attention to the words that they're using when they're describing their problems, whereas in a survey, you're kind of stuck with the answer that they give you. And often people don't want you to follow up to dig deeper into their survey answers. So that's why I prefer the interview approach. Okay, once you've interviewed them, then you need to start building your audience and creating a connection. Now that you know exactly who you're launching to and how you can help them, this is where you start to focus on building your audience. Note that this is all now at the very, very, very start of your launch. I don't recommend that you only start building your audience a few days out from your launch. That's not going to give them enough time to get to know you, love you, trust you enough to buy from you when you do launch. Okay, what's next? After you've completed all of these steps, then you move on to the second P in my signature framework, and that is position. And this is where you start to piece together that compelling offer that your audience just can't resist. Now, you'll find this and the other 4 Ps inside my free ebook, The Complete Roadmap for a Killer Launch. Grab that from stephtaylor.co/roadmap. If you're enjoying the show, I really appreciate it if you hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes released every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you have 2 minutes to spare, as always, I really do appreciate ratings and reviews. I read them all. They make me smile. So anyway, thank you so much for listening, guys. Catch you next time.